Are you struggling with print and cut in 2026? And if that is so, then keep watching. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you guys how to successfully print and cut using your refined color UV printer and a laser that's actually running on LightBurn. So before I get started, I do want to say thank you guys so much for the support. Do me a huge favor, hit that like, comment, subscribe, and also hit that bell notification so you guys can continue to get notified whenever I do drop another video. And I also want to give a shout out to Lozoya Designs because the homie actually helped me figure out LightBurn Print and Cut, and I'm so thankful because I was just going crazy, and he finally showed me the steps on how to properly set up my files. Now let me tell you this: I've spent money on lessons or classes or an online program or whatever you call that. I've trialed out different supposed AI softwares and all that stuff, and they all just don't seem to work, and they all claim to be the best at what they do. And the reality is, it's not as complicated. So let's get right to it, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm gonna be doing. All right, guys. So my client reached out to me, and they wanted a patch, and I said, hey, I can, do it. Are you okay if I give it a little twist? So they said yes. So my twist was, let me make this into a UV patch with faux embroidery and faux mirror edge. So I sent them a sample. They liked it. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna show you guys how to actually make this happen. So the first thing that we are actually going to do is we are gonna go to Illustrator, which we're already there. We're gonna do File, New, and what's worked the best for me in terms of sizing is a 12 by 9 inch canvas that I'm going to do in Adobe Illustrator. So you're going to hit create, and don't worry guys, I'm actually going to give you guys a download link below in the description that's going to have everything from this template to my actions and all that other cool stuff. So once you open up this particular template, you're going to have your registration marks, and we're going to leave those there for now. So this particular file is supposed to be 3.5 inches wide. So we're going to do Command C. We're going to bring it here, and we're going to go to Properties, and then we're going to do 3.5, and it's going to automatically adjust it to 2.495. So normally I like to do UV raised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Option. Before I do anything else, I'm going to do Option. And I'm going to do to the right to save it. Okay? So normally this is kind of how I do it. And it can be a little overkill. And I'm going to show you guys why in a bit. So once I have that there, we're going to go vertical alignment. We're going to select both of these. We're going to go to vertical alignment. We're going to do there. And usually between vertical and horizontal, you're going to align them. So now you have 2 images, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to name this one flat, and we're going to name this one raised. And I'm going to show you why in a bit, because it's going to be a lot easier to identify it later. So the next thing is we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it. So they want 20 of these. So we're going to do Option, scroll to the right, and it's going to save both images. Again, do it again, scroll to the right, and it's going to save both images. So what I like to do, I like to make sure that everything's lined up, as you guys can see that line. So next step, before I do anything else, I am going to put my registration marks here. And I'll explain here in a minute. So you notice how I said to rename everything? So flat, raised, flat, raised, flat, raised. It's going to help you guys in a minute. So we're going to get that image again, all 3 of them, do Option and scroll up. And then we're going to do it one more time. Select all of them. Oh, let me move this real quick. Select all of them. Option, scroll up. We're going to fix that right now. We're going to bring this down right about there. And we're going to adjust these a little bit more. Bring them down. Make sure it's centered. Everything looks good. So here's the part that makes sense. We're going to do we're gonna select all the flats and we're gonna select all the raised. So we're gonna select by doing Command and then hitting this little red dot here. So select the flat, Command flat, make sure Command is checked. Do all the flats, flat, 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 flat. And you're gonna do, so they're all right, we're gonna do Command G to group all the flats. And you're gonna be left with all the raised. So you're gonna do you're gonna do select this one, Shift, and then select, go all the way to the bottom and select them all. And they're all gonna be selected. And then you can do Command G to group. So remember the name of them, flat, raised. All right, so here's the next step. Here's the fun part. So the first thing that you gotta do before you do anything else is you're gonna rename this. So you're gonna do Save As, and you're gonna name this Pescadores de Hombres Final. And I'm gonna save it into my hard drive. And I'm gonna do that on purpose because this is gonna go straight to my UV printer. So I'm gonna make a new folder and I'm gonna call it Pescadores de Hombres Final. Hit create. And we're gonna save it as an Adobe Illustrator file on my hard drive. So you notice that I saved it with my registration marks. And the reason I wanna do that is because the first flat version, I wanna do it as a flat slate, right? So now that we have that version saved, that's the Adobe Illustrator. The second step is you're gonna do File, you're gonna export for screens. You're gonna rename this here, whatever the file is. Mine is Pescadores de Hombres Final Flat. And I'm gonna save this as a TIFF. And it's gonna automatically go to the folder that I last saved my actual Adobe Illustrator file in. So if you want to double check, just make sure it's there. But it's there, so I'm not going to hit choose. You hit choose if it's not. And then you're going to hit export. You're going to export as a TIFF. You're going to come back to this file. And then you're going to uncheck flat. You're going to check raised. And you're going to uncheck the registration marks. It's important that you do that because if you don't uncheck the registration marks, when you go and put your spot color, it's going to go over the registration marks and they're going to be thick, and I feel like it's a little bit harder to actually have perfect alignment because of the depth that's going to happen with the raise. So now I'm going to go to File, Export for screens, and then make sure you name this. You're going to name this Final, then Raise, so that you can actually differentiate where it is. You're going to save this as a PNG, very important. You're going to hit Export, and it's going to go to that folder. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Photoshop, and then you're going to go to the folder where everything was saved in. So in my particular case, it was under Pescadores de Hombre Final, and you're going to open up that PNG file that you actually just saved without the registration marks. So you're going to open that up. Notice I don't have the registration marks. Now, I'm also going to include the actions into that folder that I mentioned earlier. And I believe those actions were either made by Lozoya or somebody that Lozoya knows. I don't know. I'm not quite 100% sure, but I know they were made. And I got them from a particular group, which is the J Printer group or something like that. So in order to install that plugin, you're going to go to Windows, Actions, and you're going to hit this little hamburger, and then you're going to do Load Actions, and then you're going to find that file after you download it, hit OK or hit Open. And then you're going to see this UV spot channel. You're going to hit this arrow and you're going to click on that and you're going to click on the play button. Hit play and it's going to say contract by 1 pixel. Hit OK. And it's going to automatically save that file from a PNG to a TIFF file onto your hard drive or destination that you have chosen. Hit save. Make sure your image compression is on none, pixel order on interleave, byte order IBM PC, and layer compression RLE. None of this checked. Hit OK. Now, I don't have a varnish spot channel, but if you do have a varnish spot channel, you're going to hit continue. Same thing. And it's going to go from red to blue. And then you're going to name it varnish. I don't have it, but I'm gonna show you guys just in case you do have it. Hit save, same thing. Make sure your TIFF options are there. Hit OK, and then done. You're cool. You're done. Now you're gonna go back to your Adobe Illustrator file and make sure everything is saved. Now, while that's doing that, let's go to the UV printer and actually show you guys how to get this thing printed. So now this particular client wanted that faux look of like embroidery patch. So what I went on ahead and did is we have this Canva type leatherette, and it actually feels really good, and it actually gives it that faux embroidery effect, right? So I've already got this machine ready to go. It's clean, it's good. My prints are good. My print heads are good to go. Then I'm gonna go to new because it's a new file. I gotta close some of these out. Close some of these out. All right, we're gonna do import. I don't know if you guys can see this, but import pescadores de hombres, and then we're gonna do pescadores de hombres final. Hit OK. And then we're gonna do spot. I'm just gonna leave it on. It's not gonna hit. It's not gonna do a wipe because I don't have any raised on there. So while that's printing, let's go ahead and set up the laser here so we can actually get it done and get it going. So let's go to that real quick. All right, guys. So we're gonna open up LightBurn and we're gonna make sure that these settings are there. Now these are the settings that I use for my Thunderbolt. And if you have a laser that's different than this, make sure you have your designated settings for this. So the way that this is gonna work is you gotta remember that Adobe Illustrator file that I had you guys save as an Adobe Illustrator file. In LightBurn, you're gonna go Command I for import. And you're gonna import that Adobe Illustrator file, and it's gonna open up right here. Okay. The first thing you want to do, you notice that everything is grouped. You're gonna right-click, ungroup, and because I have a raised design on there, I know it's gonna be at the top, so I'm gonna bring it down and delete it. You're gonna select the whole image again. This time you're gonna do right-click, convert to bitmap, and you're gonna do this number at 300 dpi, hit OK, let it do its thing. You're gonna go back and select it, and then you're gonna do trace image. Then you're gonna turn this on and trace transparency. Sometimes your images look like this, and you're like, oh, what the heck? What am I supposed to do? So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that whenever you do trace transparency, you're gonna right click it one more time, hit ungroup, make sure it's still selected. On a Mac, you're gonna do Command, and you're only gonna select the outer line. Oops. Outer line, 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 and outer line. You're gonna let go of the command, and then you're gonna do delete. Because what it's gonna delete, it's only going to delete the stuff that's moving. And boom, you have your outline. All right, guys, so we're back. We finally have the design finished printing. So here we have it, UV raised, and we're gonna go ahead and put it on the actual machine. So we're gonna open up our laser, and we are gonna set this right where it needs to go. As you guys can see here on the other camera, which is right here, we are going to put some magnets where the magnets belong. Magnets are your friends. They will help the design not move. All right. So now, remember how I told you guys in Print and Cut, the wizard, you're gonna select your item, and let's bring in this camera closer. I know it's kind of hard to see with the reflective lights here, but we're gonna go on ahead and follow that laser. Alright, so the idea is that these buttons here are what move fast, and then the buttons that are locked, make sure you put those at 0.1 millimeters. I know you can't hardly see it, but it's there. Let me just show you real quick so you guys can know what I'm talking about. These here, this is locked, right? So you unlock it and make sure you put it at 0.1 millimeters. And this is going to allow for the laser to move like every time you hit it. So for example, the laser as you guys can see, the laser is not in the middle. So by me pushing that button that's internal, it's kind of in the middle there. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to go to menu, go to alignment, turn off your red dot, and then your post time. And then put your finger there, and then you're going to want to check if it's in the middle. And I can already see it's a little bit to the left. So I'm going to come back up here, unlock this, and then do 1. That's going to move it. I'm going to go back here, put my finger on pose, and I'm going to do it again. And that looks like it's right in the middle, as you guys can see right up in the upper left corner. So now you're going to come to LightBurn, and you are going to select the first dot. You're going to hit set. Now, David, now. I need to make sure my laser's connected to the machine, or to my laptop. So that's selected. Hit set. And it selects my first one. You're gonna go find your second dot, you're gonna hit jog. And you're gonna see that your laser or your machine is gonna move to the next position there, as you guys can see. And move to the next position there. So I'm gonna go back to my alignment setting and turn my laser on, and then I'm gonna go back to the manual control and go to the left until it's right in the middle, or at least where I think it's in the middle. Go up, and it looks like it's right there. I'm gonna go back to menu, alignment, turn my laser off, and then hit it 1 time. It looks a little bit too high. I'm gonna go down 1. And that looks like it's right in the middle. So we're gonna go back to the program, and you're gonna hit, with your second point selected, hit set. You're gonna hit scaled. Let it do its thing. Then I'm gonna select my image and try to be careful and not move the stuff. Now, because this particular leatherette is that canvas leatherette, it's a little bit thick. So I'm gonna go into my settings, and I'm gonna do this at 60 power, 1200 speed for the Thunderbolt. And I'm gonna do 2 passes. And 2 passes because I wanna make sure that it actually cuts through. So now that it's there, I'm gonna hit start. And let's watch this thing do its thing. You guys are able to see it on this camera. And if everything works out the way that I think it should cut perfectly nice. Alright, and it's cutting very well. so far it's cutting it where I need it to cut, and that's why it's important to do a 12.9-inch Canva in Adobe Illustrator. So we'll speed that up so that I can actually do it faster. And we're about 16%, and it's been about a minute. So we're at a minute at 16%, which is not too bad. Now, we're doing 2 passes because the materials are a little bit thicker, and I want to make sure it cuts very well. Now, the moment of truth. Did the print and cut actually work? Did Lozoya Designs tutorial on how to actually do a successful print and cut actually work? I think it did. So let's check them out. And as you guys can see, I've successfully printed and cut UV patches or UV printed patches with this new method. So if this video was helpful, and I apologize that it was so long, but if this video was helpful, do me a huge favor, comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you guys can see more videos like this. I'm gonna try to come on here as often and put more educational stuff that you guys wanna see. And also, in the comment section, let me know what you guys want me to do next. You guys want me to do a tutorial on the UV, on the laser? Is there anything that you guys need help on? Let me know. If it's for embroidery, if it's for laser engraving, if it's for, I don't know, anything else, the Marrow machine, if it's for the single post machine, I'll do it all for you guys. So thank you guys so much. And again, Lozoya Designs, thank you so much, bro, for helping me. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. God bless you guys, because I got to finish some more patches. So thank you so much.